All right, Senator Wiener, SB 107.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman, and I want to thank the committee and staff for the thorough analysis of this bill. SB 107 is back on concurrence after the House of Origin deadline to introduce bills in this body. The governor of Texas issued an executive order indicating that if a parent allows their child to receive gender-affirming care, that would be considered child abuse under state law, and the child would be removed from the household, put in foster care, and the parent would be criminally prosecuted. This started a chain reaction, as is so often the case with transphobic and homophobic red state legislation, where quickly Alabama and other states introduced legislation, and some of it passed in Alabama. The law indicates that a parent consenting to a child receiving gender-affirming care is guilty of a felony punishable by up to 10 years in prison. In addition, the physician would be subject to criminal penalty of 10 years in prison. So we immediately went to work to say, how can we push back and make clear that California is not going to be a party to these laws? And that is where SB 107 came from. This bill does a few things, and its general gist is to send a signal to trans kids and their families that if they do not feel safe, or if they are under attack or threat of criminal prosecution in their home states because they allowed their child to receive gender-affirming care, that they can come to California, and we will do what we are legally able to do to give them refuge and to protect them, and we're not going to become an arm of law enforcement of the state of Texas or Alabama or other states. So the bill does a few things. First of all, it makes clear that California courts are going to, when there are in these kinds of situations, we're going to apply our own law and not the law of these just abusive, despicable laws from these other states. We are not going to honor subpoenas from those states for example, medical records relating to gender-affirming care, in order, if those subpoenas are to facilitate those laws in a criminal or civil context. And law enforcement, unless we are constitutionally required in terms of extradition, that we are not going to participate from a law enforcement perspective in enforcing the laws of these other states, and that it will be deprioritized in terms of level of law enforcement participation. We have a broad coalition behind the bill. The bill is co-sponsored by Equality California and Planned Parenthood. There are an enormous number of LGBTQ youth, and particularly trans youth throughout this country, who are literally in a state of terror right now when they see that powerful elected officials are basically denying their existence and are signaling to these children that because of who you are, we're putting you in foster care and your parents are going to prison. And is it any wonder that the rates of suicide are so high among these kids? And that's why it's critically important for California to stand up and say that we're not going to be a party to that. And I respectfully ask for your aye vote.